Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the Kiev Major Qualifier Hub coming at you. I am Breaky CPK, and I'm going to be joined by Merlita here as my co-caster. We're looking forward to having a lot of fun with you guys. We're kicking it off with the European region, of course, and we got our first matchup here. Alternate Attacks taking on NIP. What do you think here, Melanie?
Who, you might ask? Alternate Attacks. They haven't, I just checked, they haven't played in 2 months. And even their scrims, they haven't played in like 2 weeks. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes.
I am on the same page. You know, I did a little bit of research here coming into this, obviously, coverage here. And this is one of the teams where, as you said, it's really kind of hard to find information on these guys. They haven't played an official match since January. And before that, they were playing, you know, some minor events, things like the Pro Dota Cups here and there, some $5,000 prize pool tournaments. And even in that, not necessarily doing too well. So who knows, though? Maybe they're a dark horse team as a result of that. But no doubt they're going up against one of the teams here in NIP with a lot more fame, is safe to say, on the other side.
Definitely more fame. Ogre Juggernaut. That is an older draft that is not very common nowadays. Ogre kind of has been eschewed for Keeper, and if they're not drafting Keeper, that's already not a great sign for either of these teams. Keeper, I think, in the open qualifiers had a 65% win rate, which is absurd. It's crazy. You cannot have that high of a win rate and then just be ignored in here, unless you can't play the hero, which I think most supports should be able to. But regardless, they are back a few patches ago with the Ogre Juggernaut. Juggernaut, I think, is one of the few heroes that overlaps in between the carry and the mid on NIP, and a lot of teams like that flexibility.
I'm more interested in the bans here coming out from NIP. Again, this is a team in alternate attacks. They haven't played in a while, and you know it's hard to kind of maybe find information with the recent patch and everything coming out on a team like this. But they're throwing out bans like Jakiro and now Chen coming out to top it all off. So very curious, but you got to think that's because alternate attacks perhaps has been running that, right?
Yeah, Chen is actually pretty good versus Juggernaut. Juggernaut has a lot of trouble dealing damage. He takes, like, Chen can actually burst Juggernaut down quite quickly, and Omni Slash deals next to nothing when there's creeps around. So I think it's actually pretty decent. He can actually pressure the lanes quite well. The Jakiro is very strange. It's not picked so much in EU, but in the other regions, it has a lot of popularity as a support, even in the position, in the support positions. But I think it's kind of because they value Ogre a lot, and I think Jakiro is somewhat like an Ogre. It's a little bit less tanky, but it offers a lot of tower push.
Okay.
So, you know, a lot of teams ban heroes that they value themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously with that liquid fire can be very potent for pushing towers, as you said. You know, definitely great for team fight presence on top of that. So, yeah, taking it out here, again, perhaps a comfort factor, but as you suggest, maybe a little bit more to that. So, Rubik ban on the 4th ban there for NIP. Now waiting for that 4th one for good old alternate attacks. But on the other side, NIP, of course, this is a team, again, kind of a little more recently formed together, former escape squad to an extent, but bringing back some old school names. Personally, I'm excited to see names like Trixie and Hani back on the scene. So
I used to play with Hani. Hani is one of my closer people in the Dota 2. I played with him for a long time, actually. I played with him for like 3-4 years, probably. He hasn't really had too much interest in playing Dota 2, but it seems like it's kind of been renewed, which is good for him. I think one of his main problems has been motivation in the past. He is very motivated to get ripped, though. He's jacked. So I know it's not like, you know, it's not like a general thing. It's not like he's just unmotivated to do everything. It's just when it comes to Dota, you know, sometimes he doesn't put in the extra mile.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of been a trend lately in some play. You know, hanging around the BTS studios, I made mention of that before, where you guys got the gym set up here now, and there's been more and more people working out, you know, getting in shape here, and Hani apparently a part of that crew. So I guess that's kind of the Dota 2
He was
thing.
like the first one.
He was the first one, yeah. Kind of set the trend here. Well, that's taking a long time for the third pick. Crystal Maiden eventually comes out. Crystal Maiden, I feel like, has really been surging on pretty strong as a support recently again.
The games have been like very fast-paced and a lot of 5-man centric, and I think having his form of sustain is incredibly important.
Yeah.
I remember when OG used to just roll teams a lot. They would always have one source of heal and one source of mana. It was like OD plus like Dazzle. Juggernaut plus CM is probably one of the most common ones with Arcane Aura and the Healing Ward, just so you can constantly fight. Because a lot of times you win the fight, but you can't push a tower. Everyone's too low on HP, too low on mana, and you just don't want to get jumped. But with these two heroes, you're ready to fight within like 30 seconds of the last fight, which is kind of underrated.
Yes, NIP ready to contest. Again, guys, to clarify, no, we're just kicking things off with the European region right here. Obviously, Southeast Asia starting first, so I'm sure you know by now, perhaps if you have been watching a little bit, but this is our first game of the European region. It's all best of one. This is a round-robin format. There's 10 teams in this case in EU, and so you only play each team once. Obviously, 9 matches in total. The top 4 of those 10 teams actually advance on to a double elimination playoff stage taking place in a couple of days from now here. So, but it's good to start strong. And, in a case like NIP, you're one of these teams that it wouldn't be surprising to see them top 4, but I feel like they're kind of one of these middle teams right now in these EU groups. I don't know, what is your feeling on that?
They're high variance for sure. They're not like consistently in the middle. Sometimes they're really, really good, and sometimes they're a little bit under the weather. One thing that is interesting to me about NIP is that Quake was drafting for them. I think usually it's a support player. I would say well over 80% of the time is a support player drafting, just because they're the ones making the in-game calls and directing the pace of the game, and it's much easier for support to do so because you can look around the map a lot more instead of focusing on your lane. So Quake drafting it's not that bad for them. It's definitely different. I think Quake is the most individually skilled player on NIP, so maybe he has a different outlook on the game, or maybe even just a straight better one than the other players. So I'm not against it.
Well, with a player like Cinderin on the team, though, again, you kind of almost figure that he would be the drafter, right? With his history and everything. But yeah, very interesting that Quakefa has the reins here instead. I'm sure it's a team effort, though. I mean, in most cases, right, it's probably more of a team effort. He's the one that ends up clicking the hero.
Yeah, he's I think he's like the young one too. Like he's probably the younger players. I don't know. Generally, just have like different ideas than the older players too.
It's been several of those players, coming on the scene strong lately. There we go. Sentences are hard sometimes. And yeah, Quokva apparently part of that crew. So Sand King is going to be the 4th pick right here again. So I will say this. I mean, they're not doing anything that out of the ordinary so far.
Nope. They do have to deal with the Slaughter Lifestealer.
That's true.
That is not going to be easy. Sand King is pretty decent at pressuring the safe lane. Omni Knight. All right.
Omni. You're a fan.
I don't actually not necessarily in this one. I don't really think Lifestealer needs the Omni Knight treatment. I think like a hero like OD is way stronger with the Omni Knight on the team, but like Invoker, you don't really need Repel. You want a hero that just like runs in and can just like destroy, like Troll, for example. He's a good example of a hero that wants Omni Knight on his team. You want to buy BKB, but you don't want to buy BKB, and Omni Knight kind of solves all those issues for you. But Lifestealer already has Magic Immunity. Invoker doesn't really want to be in the middle of the fight, and Slardar usually just blinks, jumps in, and then kind of does his thing anyway. So Omni is very strange to me. It's not your typical Omni.
No,
game.
I definitely see what you're suggesting right there. I want to kind of take a step back, though, real quickly on this. The fact that NIP lets Slaughter and even then Lifestealer go through, they obviously had a chance to ban the Lifestealer, already seen the Slaughter pick, but that combo's been just so strong, especially as of late. They let it go through, though. They're showing that they're not concerned. Is that a concern for NIP, though, from our perspective, you think?
I think it's always concerning. They do have one of the better Corvers. I think Juggernaut's very good. He's like high armor, and he can spin out of the... his spin will dispel the open wounds and the amplify, and the sort of slow after the crush. So it's all pretty nice there. But if you don't have the item, you're just gonna die in like 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But they have Ogre. Ogre's also pretty high armor. It's all right.
He can tank some damage. Crystal Maiden, maybe not as much, but you're going to have those squishy targets, of course. You're going to have those good options, no matter what, usually in the end. So this final pick, though, for alternate attacks, what do they still need, I guess? The off lane? I mean, maybe the force at their final... No? What do they need here?
Off lane or support. I think some way to actually deal with, like, some AoE control. Maybe, like, I don't know, Disruptor, I don't think would be that bad for them.
Some kind of range, it feels like, at the very least.
Omni Knight, you can kind of get away with just all run-at-you heroes.
Yeah.
Bat Rider, I also think is still pretty good. Bat Rider, Omni, I really like in combination with each other. But that would relegate Slaughter to a support, which, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 votes.
All right, well, can't do Chikiro. Banned out.
Chikiro.
Darn. That's one they're going to have to stay away from here. But they got 10 seconds left, so we're going to find out very shortly. And, okay, they go Warlock in the end. One that passed up there, but I think that's a glad to have final pick there.
Warlock Omni. It's a very, very strong combination. It's a lot of sustain, so you can keep on pushing. It is a very, very good team fight. The only thing that is bad about these two is the laning phase occasionally. Omni Knight needs a lot of levels. Ooh, Naga Siren.
Let's get ready for a good game here, yeah.
Naga Siren owns Lifestealer if you get to that point in the game, but
Okay.
I think this used to be the case, but ever since it's been way more fast-paced since the addition of shrines, I think Lifestealer has a pretty good shot versus Naga Siren. Before it was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yeah, you'll still be fine.
Well, why is that? Why would you suggest that necessarily?
It's because Radiance carries aren't as strong anymore.
Okay.
Because first, the towers are way more important now because you can't really farm at all anymore. You can just pressure, and if you can't have access to your shrines, you're not going to be able to farm at all. Naga Siren, she just takes too long. She doesn't do anything for the first 25 minutes, I would say. And they don't have a great sleep setup. They can easily counter any setup with Rock, which is pretty good, or Repel, or GA, or Rage. All these things are good to deal with the sleep. So the Naga Siren isn't a end-all be-all to win the team fights. And Slaughter Lifestealer can pick off a Naga Siren very, very easily.
Yeah. All right, so good old Naga Siren, though, to finish things off. Koikva going to be the one playing it, of course. Era on that. Juggernaut going to be in the short lane you'd expect. Now, whenever I see Juggernaut, too, I see the potential for some sort of an aggressive lane coming out. I mean, Crystal Maiden, Ogre Magi, Juggernaut, Trial Lane does sound like it has potential there. Is that something you think we could see?
Versus Lifestealer, though. Yeah, it wouldn't be so bad. I would like Dazzle a lot more if you weren't in tri-lane, and CM's traditionally seen as very weak in tri-lanes because she needs to get level 2 first before she's pretty useful. Her base end is actually just terrible.
Okay.
Her base end her base mana is 242, which is the same as the strength hero I was thinking. They nerfed it not that long ago. So you need level 2 or else you're going to have to buy 2 or 3 clarities for the lane, which just isn't realistic for position 5.
Just max out that Arcane Aura, though, and all of a sudden all your mana issues are taken care of here.
See, that's the thing. If you like jungle and you get 3, you're pretty much you're in a tri-lane because you're giving them so much mana. So, that's kind of my philosophy on it, but I'm a greedier player.
She definitely has that potential with the Frostbite there, so. Yeah, we saw your teammate Blitz play a pretty mean Crystal Maiden the other night there.
Yep, they have a lot of magic immunity on this team, though. Rage. Rock will own BKB channeled ultis.
Repel, obviously.
And Repel. It's all pretty nasty.
Yeah. Definitely could be a difficult game of sorts here, but as usual, too, you'd figure kind of the middle matchup definitely going to play a key role. We have the Invoker set up against the Naga Siren. I'd figure Invoker should have a decent time in that lane, safe to say?
Yeah, definitely. Pretty easy lane, I would say, for Invoker. Naga Siren, there's almost under no circumstance will you be able to kill the Invoker in a one-on-one situation. But she has to help up the CM aura, so it's not as bad. And Ogre. Ogre can do Ogre things and sit in mid.
Be that harasser with that ignite of his, of course.
Do they have the predictions for the Kiev Major?
No, not for the qualifiers. I don't believe so.
I thought they did.
I haven't checked the compendium, honestly, since then. Maybe they do. You're checking right now.
I think the achievement says correctly guess 25 group stage. Oh, group stage for the main event. Okay.
The battle. Okay, yeah.
I wasn't sure if group stage was regional qualifiers. I guess group stage is pretty clearly.
I mean,
main event.
This would probably be a pretty easy prediction with the pick here, unless you're.
You have no idea about the tags.
Yeah.
Maybe they're all smurfing.
Oh yeah, true.
They were, because some teams like to do that.
They've been grinding as another team for the longest time. Scrimming, not necessarily playing in tournaments, and
their lineup's pretty good. Yeah. I would actually prefer their lineup over Radiant.
If these were neutral teams, maybe give them the advantage. But yeah, when you do obviously factor in that player skill level and everything and experience, you kind of lean towards NIP perhaps a little bit more, is safe to say. So it's not like they drafted an awful lineup themselves by any means, but I definitely understand what you're suggesting though with the draft right here. So. Again, though, we're just kicking things off here with the European coverage. There is another match also going on for Europe, as well as Southeast Asia for that matter. What is the other one? It's Cloud9 versus 4 Protect 5, formerly known as IKEA. They were actually the Battle Cup champions, and they actually had to change their name, understandably. They couldn't be called IKEA in an official event. That would be copyright, so. But we'll keep an eye on that one, of course, too. But we got NIP versus Alternate Attacks, and we are kicking things off here on Breaky CPK, joined by Merlini once again as your casters here. So
A lot of things have happened prior to the creep spawn. Invoker was able to Sunstrike and catch glimpse of 2 TPs, as well as the Quelling Blade on the Naga Siren. Quelling Blade will almost certainly signify the mid Naga. Not that they really switch it up that often. And he tries to throw down another Sunstrike to see what's going on in the lanes. This is a game that you really don't want to be caught off guard by the lanes if you're attacked. Like, a slow game is bad because Naga Siren will get big. So you want to be able to pressure the Naga Siren wherever she is and make sure that you don't get run over by the Jug.
So yeah, Kakor here on the slaughter, again, porting to that bottom lane ASAP. Era, though, also making his way down here. And it seems like we see a fair amount of teams obviously taking advantage of that. You really get into those lanes as soon as possible, try to get that vision down here. A very defensive Observer Ward just placed, by the way, by the Radiant side at the bottom lane here in the lane. That's...
I like that Observer.
Yeah?
It's... Well, the common... the common D-Ward spot is a little bit to the northwest, or kind of right where that flag is. So it kind of will not get seen by that. It's probably the most important thing. Just make sure you don't get your Observer Ward dewarded. If it provides subpar vision, like it won't see people TPing in, for example, but it's good enough, and it won't get dewarded, which is kind of your objective for that early game. So Cinderin will be starting mid, it looks like, to harass out the Invoker. They already know that he's Exort, so most likely Quasi-Exort with 1 point in Wex.
I don't feel like I've seen a Quas Wex Invoker for a while. Seems like Exort's basically the way to go. All the Sunstrike damage and everything. That's just always going to be the routine build. It feels like.
It's because you have the option of farming. If you have Quas Wex, you can't really farm.
Okay.
You have to fight constantly. But Exort, you can fight with Sunstrike and you can farm with Forge Spirits and Alacrity. So that is by far more preferential because you have more options.
Omni Knight, he is the one soloing here at this bottom lane, of course, going up against that Crystal Maiden and Juggernaut in this case. Obviously, Ogre, he's been in the middle lane currently and setting up harassment there, but this Omni Knight, it seems like this is going to be a difficult task for him. He does have that Poor Man Shield to mitigate some damage, but don't expect him to get too much farm, I would think.
He should not die, though. If he's ever in really big trouble, he can just repel TP. If he's in a small bit of trouble, he just repels or heals and runs away. So
yeah.
I don't actually think he can die until maybe 6. Jugger gets 6 unless he plays very, very riskily, but he doesn't look like he's doing so. Trixie did something very strange in the top lane. He did pick up the Sandstorm at level 1. I saw him just sitting there just to get level 2, which is also not that bad of a play, especially if you don't see any sentries on the support. So he did get his free 2, which is pretty good for him.
Yeah, you see he's trying to keep in the experience range, if anything, and obviously he's simply trying to get levels similar to the Omni Knight, as you mentioned at the bottom lane. Also trying to do that. I also see the Chuckle Pull somewhat coming on over here. Going to take advantage of those Radiant Creeps doing so, and Omni Knight with the heal even to assist with some last hitting going on. So 2-minute rune going to spawn. It's going to be at the top, it looks like, and it will be Illusion. Nothing too significant right there, but could be good for scouting purposes. Ogre's going to race to this bounty rune, meanwhile. He gets it right in front of Kakor right before the crush comes out. And now they'll have some fun with one another here.
No help coming in, though, but Cinderin does have to be a tiny bit careful of Sunstrike, but I mean, he's big bad Ogre. No one's going to be touching him.
Nah, he's just fine. Juggernaut with his farm. Helm of the Dominator seems like that's kind of been the core, especially on a hero like Juggernaut. You expecting that here? No difference?
It's a little bit different after they nerfed it. Like, it's a free 125 gold for a hero like Lifestealer, and also you generally get Helm of Dominator if you want to push a lot, but they're not really going to be pushing because they have the Naga.
Okay.
So I'm actually not on the Helm of Dominator train as much as I was before. Cinderin with some decent blocks, nice spin dodge.
Is this a kill? Ignite on him. It should be a kill, right? Yeah, first blood drawn by Arrow right there. Now Kakor, he wants to get the turn kill. Well, he needs to be careful about getting killed himself, too, if he overcommits right here. So, but the first blood coming out. Yeah, good job taking him out. The repel only lasting so long on Omni Knight.
They thought they would be able to get the sun off, and he wasn't able to. Like, if you think you're going to die, you can just TP out, but he didn't have the TP ready to go before him because I thought the Slaughter was going to be able to come in to help him out. So, good start for an IP.
So, on the Juggernaut, I can definitely see what you're saying right there. Obviously, a Diffusal Blade could potentially be pretty good against the likes of an Omni Knight. Could you see an early Diffusal Blade here, or is that maybe too...
I'd actually prefer a farming item for him. Helmet Dominant can be a farming item too, but maybe Yasha. Yasha's, I think, a nice in-between fighting and farming. Diffusal is too fighting-oriented, although it is very good versus the Omni Knight. I don't actually think you want to take 5-on-5s versus attacks. You just want to delay for Naga.
Yeah.
So I think you need to like half fight, half farm as the Juggernaut, but Helmet Dom is always going to be somewhat relevant too if you're going to be 4-on-5ing a lot.
Trixie taking some harassment there at the top lane, but again, he's fine. Burl strikes away, and he's good to go at the distance. I want to point out this here. Naga Siren, I think it's safe to say dominating this middle matchup. 30-6 against a 14-1 Invoker.
He did not go Wex, so this is I definitely do not like the non-Wex Invoker build. You just really struggle in the last hitting early. Like Naga's base damage is not particularly great. We're talking about like almost 100 on the Invoker versus 63 on the Naga, so he should be last hitting very, very well, but then you have the mirror image involved, so that's kind of why you need the Alacrity to equalize that.
Top lane, Trixie making some pretty nasty jukes up there. He got to about 10 life. Lifestealer could not finish him off, though, unfortunately, and he was able to TP out, so he stays alive and remains a 1-0 hero kill lead as a result, in advantage of NIP, of course. You're on the Radiant side. So, but yeah, that Naga Siren, of course, farming very well is the point there. Has another Quelling Blade, another 1,000 gold saved up right here.
She didn't even need to use her Share Tangos. That's how little pressure the Invoker threw on her. Yeah, maybe they haven't been scrimming so much, just because like almost all the Invokers I see go 1 point in a Wex. Early just to help with the laning phase. His CS is like half of Naga's, which is really low.
Seems like that shouldn't be the case. I mean, Ogre has been here a little bit, to be fair, but yeah, it seems like where he's at compared, it definitely is lower than it should be, unfortunately. So alternate attacks definitely find themselves a little bit behind. Top lane, Sank. Oh, the Pearl Strike right before the Crush comes out right there, but the Sunstrike, it is going to connect, actually. And now Trixie trying to go the other direction, maybe get killed by the neutral creeps. Not going to
really close. Woo. That Hell Bear almost helped him out.
Yeah. Unfortunately not, though, and Hani just has to watch from a distance as his friend falls right there. And we tied up at one apiece. I mean, definitely the positive here for the Dire side is that Lifestealer. He is having a very good time at that top lane. Essentially free farm there.
The Slaughter needs Blink, though. There's no way to enable the Lifestealer unless you have the Blink on the Slaughter. He can't just like run at people. He'll get netted.
Yeah.
And they'll just Bloodlust away, spin away, like do whatever if you don't have the Slaughter Blink. So at least the Slaughter hasn't died yet this game, but he's probably in a situation. I see him have Tranquils and Quick Buy, and he has the money for it, but he's probably debating like, do I really want to get Tranquils right now because it's going to slow down my Blink? And it's not an easy call for him. I think you probably buy the Tranquils and then go for the Blink, but I don't know.
The longer you wait, though, against a Naga team, it feels like that's always going to be, that's always going to hurt, right? Because the longer you wait, the more time you give that free farm, essentially, to the Naga Siren, which I guess inevitably could just happen anyways, but
yeah, that's
where you could argue. I think the earlier on Blake could potentially be the choice.
I still think they need to make plays, though. They're not, like, pressuring the Naga at all.
Yeah.
Like, you can tower dive a lot better with the Tranquil Boots, too. So it's, not too much is happening from attacks right now. I think they're just waiting until Warlock 6 to group up and maybe do stuff, but the push is not insanely good because Invoker is pretty far behind. If you were like closer to his Midas and level 15 where you get the 2 Force Spears and Alacrity so you can hit buildings, then I would think they'd be in a better position to hit towers, but right now it's not looking so great. But we do see a smoke. Warlock and Slardar heading up. They might get a kill.
Yeah. They keep on going right here. Obviously, that's the only kill that they've been successful with so far on the Sand King. He does have the Burrow Strike ready to go. That poor man shield also mitigating some damage, and he makes the juke into the trees right away. Trixie knew something was up. And look at that. He TPs already. He is good to go. So Smoke Ink, unfortunately, going to come up short here.
And Hani and Trixie also smoked immediately after that TP, heading into the Dire jungle. Warlock could be the
Invoker, maybe.
Oh, actually, Invoker. Do they have 1 point in net? No point in net on Naga.
But he has Freezing Field ready to go on Crystal Maiden, by the way. This is a kill, 100%. Yeah, they're going to go on Barrel Strike easy. There's the Freezing Field, and easy kill as a result. Gakker's like, crap. That's not going to work.
Jeez, yeah. Hani, being level 6 makes life very difficult. That was a very fast TP from the Slarnar, but just not enough time to react because of that Freezing Field. And
yeah.
Yep, now they're on the back foot, which is bad. You're against the Naga Siren. You're already up against the clock, and that clock is ticking earlier, faster than it would be normally.
The Yasha is queued up for Era right here, so it seems like he has the same mindset you were having earlier. That seems like the better item choice. Helmet of the Dominator maybe not as necessary as it would be other games. So
I think you go, if you plan on getting Diffusal, you also want the Manta early. You go Manta into Diffusal. Because you're almost certainly going to get a Diffusal this game. Because Naga Siren can get it, but she gets it at 30, 35 maybe. You can get it at 20, I would say, on Juggernaut.
Again, very powerful against the likes of that Omni Knight. Of course, top lane, this could be a big kill, but Exotic Deer will pop that rage, so of course not going to happen, but letting them know that he can't be so safe this game. Going to take some pressure there. Hand of Midas almost finished on Invoker, by the way. Of course, that's going to be a key item. A little bit later than you'd like, but better late than never kind of deal.
He finally picked up 1 point in Wex, though.
Oh, there you
for
go.
Alacrity. So he could jungle.
He's adapting.
He's adapting. It's probably like, why am I farming so slowly?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Missing that one thing. Well, there we go. He has Animitis now delivered and uses it immediately, so keep an eye on that net worth here. Speaking of that, he's 4th in the game currently behind his Lifestealer teammate. Naga, of course, is tops in the game, and the Sacred Relic is well in the works. 3,100 gold, so just about there. This is going to be a pretty decent timing Radiance, I feel like, Merlini.
Definitely. I honestly don't even think he needed to take 1 point in Song. Like, he could probably just went 404 at level 8. Would have sped up his farm just a tiny bit, but not that big of a deal for him. Yeah, this is going to be a really nasty Radiance timing. Like, you want Armlet plus like Dezo on Lifestealer by the time Radiance hits, and you probably want a Aegis in your inventory, but I don't think any of things are going to happen by this time. They're still trying to farm with their like first wave of items, and haven't even started thinking about the 5-man. Warlock is 6 finally.
There's a positive.
Yeah, that's a positive. I think they definitely need to make something happen with this, but who's it going to be?
That's the tough question, right? Well, they got the Armlet now, a Lifestealer, but again, without a Blink Dagger on Slaughter, it's not as threatening. He did end up going the Tranquil Boots, so that does set him behind in a sense of getting that Blink Dagger. There's about 600 gold saved up here, so maybe that's going to be the key item to get before they really try to make a play. But Warlock at level 6, as you mentioned, he is coming to the bottom lane.
Too obvious.
Yep.
Look at Qualifier positioning him in. He's at the tower, just whacking it, and no one is in sight. So they're either smoked around mid, which he can just Song off, or they're on bottom, but no one is even there. And they even draw the line, Hani does, to see exactly where they are coming from. And they know that Warlock is likely 6 because it's past 10 when the tome spawns, and no heroes in sight.
Lifestealer, they saw for a split second right there, but they choose not to go, and they just want to go all the way to the top lane and actually do group up together. So kind of goes against the mindset perhaps in not getting a Helmet Dominator because you're not going to be grouping up and pushing towers together, but you know what?
They don't want to fight. Like,
that's a good point.
There's no point in fighting in a rock. You just make them waste it, or you just slow them down a lot by pushing the other 2 towers. You get 2 towers for 1. Trixie already TP'd down bottom, so it looks like the call has been made to not fight on top at all.
Let's just avoid that Radiance. Almost here. The Sacred Relic, of course, picked up. 500 plus gold on top of that. Bloodlust level 4 as well from the Ogre Magi. He's been passing that around, especially to the Naga Siren, of course. So speaking of amping that farm, looking good. But you know what? 12 minutes into this game, it's only 2-1. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, though. The Naga Siren especially, so. The strategy of avoid fights, though, as you're getting at. So they're going to push the middle tower. It's the dire side, but out comes the fortification and kind of push bottom lane.
Dire's in a lot of trouble. I think they know it too. They know that, like, the Naga has had completely uncontested free farm.
Yeah.
In the first 12 minutes of the game. So Radiance is coming in maybe like 30 seconds to a minute.
They still want to push this middle tower. They would love to have an objective, but a lot easier said than done, especially you throw that Bloodlust up there. It just does so much return damage and makes it very difficult for those creeps to stay alive long enough. As bottom lane, actually, double G right here on the Omni Knight, trying to survive. The Repel is up. Out comes the Chaotic Offering, but he's gone.
That's how you waste a rock.
Yeah. That came just a little bit too late as he was TPing away. And now middle lane to add insult to injury. Freezing Field, they say. Yeah, we can execute a little bit better right here. The Sunstrike turn kill to Trixie. It is going to be enough, actually, so at least he has a last laugh of sorts, but still the better exchange for NIP there.
Yeah, very nice. I think he actually bought his point booster too before he died, so some small victory for attack. They will use that rock to take T1 on bottom, but at the same time, NIP ready to push top. Radiance Recipe flying out to Quickfoot as I speak. Yuck.
Yeah, it's even as a caster, you're kind of just, you just almost feel bad for them, right? It's like, oh, geez, they have to deal with this now. I'm sure you've had to deal with your Naga Siren games in your past as well, and it's never fun.
Oh, I'm the Naga Siren player. I'm that guy.
You're that dirty Naga picker there, yeah.
But Quaifa's happy is like, I know they're screwed. Because there's not really that much they can do about it right now. How do you actually kill the illusions? And their 5 minutes is going to be slowed down by the Radiant Illusions, and they already wasted their first rock. Are they going to get this kill on Slardar? He is pretty close to dying.
Yeah. Will manage to live, though, so very close indeed. Exotic Deer popping out, and Ogre's like, yeah, I got this TP right here. Nothing you can do by yourself. He'll just use it, and he is fine. Makes the getaway. So well played in terms of escaping. So,
Hani on top.
Oh, yeah. This could definitely be another
probably
kill.
waiting for Freezing Field. 6 seconds, but they might miss a creep wave.
There we go. Frostbite comes out. Freezing Field not even necessary. Oh, maybe, though, because Ghostwalk's popped. He's just going to try to spit on top of him. Cannot do enough damage, though, and actually will TP away. Meanwhile, back to the middle lane. As that tower push continues, the repel on himself from Omni Knight. He does have Guardian Angel if a fight breaks out here. Not going to be able to... I mean, this tower, they've tried several times, and it's just staying alive, man.
Yeah, they kind of have to, though. If they don't, then Naga's just going to be out of control. They have to try and pressure towers, but that shows you how desperate they are. There's 3 people mid. The Warlock does not have his ulti up, and they still really can't hit a tower. So.
Yeah.
NIP probably feeling very comfortable, especially with the avoided kill in the mid lane. Like, they didn't even lose an Ogre. And Dire, like, used their smoke when Warlock ult was up last time. Looks like it's almost up again. They probably need to smoke and wrap around behind the mid tower. I would say is their best attack point as of now.
This net worth chart definitely suggesting that NIP has consistently been ahead this game, and the experience really no different there. As speaking of a wraparound middle lane, you have right here Lisa could be getting gone on. Actually, they will find others instead. In the slaughter, actually, the Pearl Strike on through with the epicenter being channeled. Not a kill just yet, though. Guardian Angel comes out. It will be a kill at the end. The Caustic Finale finishing off Slaughter right there, and ends up being the 1 kill for the Nun. So good find there. And that's going to delay the Blink Dagger that much more. He only has about 1,200 gold currently saved up, so any kills on him, you could argue he's almost the most important kill right now. Keep that Blink Dagger in check there.
Yeah, no chance for them to really get to the Naga Siren at all. They're losing towers. They aren't able to kill anyone, and they can't push out the waves. Ooh, Era.
Yeah, he's like that was a challenge right there. He's like, do you want to use your Chaotic Offering? Warlock's like, absolutely. The Sunstrike's going to miss, but it doesn't matter. And that's absolutely worth a kill at Juggernaut, right?
Yes. They need to be able to convert it into a tower, but they actually do not have that tower up on bottom. They've already taken that down, so it looks like they will not get any objectives. So from Era's point of view, it's kind of worth it, although I'm sure he would have preferred to spend his gold before he died.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's just getting a little bit frisky.
I feel like he could have just ran there, but yeah, I don't know if he thought the Chaotic Offering was on cooldown, or maybe didn't see the Warlock until he actually started TPing. It's very possible.
He wanted to kill the wave. You spin on the wave and then you TP out, so you delay that wave another 30 seconds.
Gotcha.
They have no option of pushing that lane. But, you know, he still ended up killing most of the wave, so it's not that bad. Yeah,
got a little bit of farm anyways, and going to be coming back up here. The Manta Style is just about finishing the game. Keep an eye on what he goes from there. Bots, though, picked up by the Naga Siren to go with that Radiance. Another 2,000 gold saved up, so talk about being online. He's doing just fine with that, with the 250 mana talent as well to help with said mana issues that potentially could have been there.
Didn't even need to go Aquila.
No, that's true. No regen even needed. Good old talent trees coming into play. Slaughter, though, always keeping an eye on that Blink Dagger progress, and once again, he's up there. If he stays alive for these next couple of minutes, he should have it, and then there's a chance. The Echo Saber, I believe, is in the works. Okay, he actually finishes it now in Lifestealer, by the way. As middle lane, no, he's going to be fine. Will Kakor, but get that Blink Dagger on Slaughter. Is that the cue to just start making plays, you think, for alternate attacks?
Way too late.
Yeah.
When it actually comes to a team fight, the Radiant Illusions will be disabling his Blink Dagger, and they're going to have to use smokes to try and get the jump. But I honestly don't really think it matters that much. It's way too late. Like,
okay.
12 minutes is kind of your average, slash good timing. 13 to 15 is acceptable. Anything past 16 is it's not going to have any impact.
Yeah.
In this sort of game where the Naga's really farmed. If she were less farmed, then maybe, but she's way too farmed. She's going to be on her 3rd item by the time Slaughter gets his Blink.
Which I assume with that Ultimate Orb, or what are we looking at, a Manta Style here next, most likely?
Yeah, that's actually pretty strange. Most people go for the Octarine before the Manta, just so they can farm more with the illusions. But Manta's pretty good too.
Yeah, bottom lane, they were trying to work on it for another kill to Slaughter right there, but no harm, no foul kind of deal. Nobody dying in return as Cocker will survive, and he does have that blink dagger now. So perhaps a lot later, as you're suggesting, than they really even needed it. But hey, you know what? They have it now, so definitely the ability to try to make some plays.
They see Era with the amp.
Oh, they're going to go with the Infest pop-up, but in comes a counter burrow strike from Trixie. Honey, he's on the uphill with a freezing strike ready to go, or the freezing field, excuse me, but not going to use it. Just trying to juke and jive now and escape and set up some turn if they wanted to keep chasing. Not going to happen, though. They'll fall on back, and Lifestealer back to farming. Wants to get that Desolator, which he has queued up now. Be some nice damage there, but yeah, I mean, Omni Knight, by the way, he did choose to go the combo of course, the Arcane Boots into the mech. I know Aether Lens could actually be pretty decent on him. You talk about that range, you want to sit back and be still helpful for the team. Is that something you would have expected to see, or?
Not when there's no fighting.
Okay.
He has Midas queued up in his inventory.
Oh yeah.
Which probably would have been. He probably wished that he got earlier, and just farm out with Midas and try and stall out until late game. There comes this point where Naga Siren gets too farmed. And this happens around 40 to 45, I would say, where she actually has just too much gold. And it's hurting her team because she's max level with max gold, and she's not getting any stronger. But she's still being able to farm up on the lane. And then the heroes with the Midas that are kind of underfarmed, like Omni Knight would be in this situation, can kind of get a lot stronger with like Refresher. And, you have less defusal charges on a Naga Siren. Like, these sort of things start to add up. But I don't know if it's going to get that late, just because I think Naga Siren can just end the game with at 30, 35, I would say, and just pressure everywhere. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, obviously you do got that backpack to make use of now, but yeah, he's not like an alchemist, can't be handing around axe by any means. Doesn't have that effect, of course. So, Slaughter pinging on out. They do see Trixie making his way up here. Trixie not aware that there's numbers. Oh, he goes for the random blind crush. He will miss, and Sand King is like, all right, now I got to get the hell on out of here. So a bit of a distraction, and more distractions are definitely good, especially if they're not resulting in kills for the other side. Again, it's a 4-3 game here, man. 7 kills in 21 minutes. I've been watching a lot of the I casted a lot of the open qualifiers. We had a lot of kills in those matches, but kickoff here in the regional qualifiers, we're starting pretty slow. But again, I think that's more of the Naga Siren pick than what we should expect to see overall. And Attack's inability to really get anything done around the map. Yeah. Like the Lifestealer has been involved in what, one kill and 1 assist, and Slaughter, he missed his first Blink Crush, so they just haven't really been able to connect. The Rock missed on the Juggernaut too for a potential kill, so I think they probably let like 4 kills slip by them too. Not that it would have been that big a deal, but I'm not really sure what's the best way for them to take it right now. Like, their top tower is just going to get taken down for free. So, like, do you want to, like, all-in commit on, like, hard objectives, like Roshan and the mid-T1 tower?
Well, commit by yourself somewhat. Nisha will be torn down. The spin of the back on the Epicenter also going off to get the kill. Now, can they get out's the question. Era, the answer is going to be yes for him. Over here, we have Ogre Magi making the escape. He's going for the TP. It looks like he's going to be fine, too, and everyone does make the escape. So, and they will get the tower on top of that. Oh, one more auto attack. The creep goes off of it, though, and they will at least deny it. But you know what? The tower's still dead for NIP, and that's what they're really happy with, getting those objectives. And they have no waves. Like, Naga Siren's been cutting all the waves, so they can't go anywhere without smokes. I think it's about time to just only commit on on like a Roshan, I think. Yeah. You might get boned by sleep, but you also just might get Aegis and can maybe fight twice. Like in straight 5-on-5, I still think Attacks is like just slightly stronger because of Rock and GA, but that is going to quickly change once Naga gets, I think, 1 or 2 more items. Yeah, I mean, as you've been suggesting so much this game, it's like, what's the advantage of waiting longer for alternate attacks? It doesn't feel like that there's an advantage to doing so. So yeah, it seems like the idea of going for some risky objective play could make the most sense here, but yeah, I think they're just going to farm up and try and take a safe, though. But I guess there's some small benefits, like Lifestealer can get Basher, so people can't keep TPing out, but I mean, that's pretty minimal, right? Well, they're going to maybe find a kill right here. Now, there is support nearby, so you got to be careful about this. Ogre Magi, though, that is going to be a quick pick, that Desolator and Lifestealer. You do see some good damage potential coming out right there, so when they can find a target by themselves, they actually will be able to kill it very quickly, so there is a positive. And more Midases, too. Slaughter is going to pick one up. I think they're going to go for 4 Midases. All right. Midas Gaming coming at us. That's pretty much the obvious answer of, you know what, we are fine taking this to the late game, which again, it feels odd against a Naga Siren team, but I guess that is one way to do it. You're getting at eventually Naga will peak because it gets just so crazy.
You have to do one or the other. You have to commit to very late game, or you have to go all in now. I think the middle ground you will lose very quickly.
I wanted to make a note of Crystal Maiden, by the way. She's level 12 right here. Does not have her talent tree point just yet. 50% magic resist, I guess, when there's not a lot of fighting going on. Makes sense to pass up, but 60 damage, man. I feel like they could help her farm that much more rather than just one more point in the Frostbite.
She can't really farm, though, because Naga Siren takes up a lot of the map. So,
true.
Yeah, in a normal game, yeah, definitely 60 damage.
Yeah.
But this is a Naga game, and you just put all your eggs in the Naga basket. Their high ground's actually not that great, though. Naga Siren's terrible at hitting high ground, especially against an Invoker who can clean up the illusions. Juggernaut's okay, but he's not, like, super farmed. Era, is he going to start on Roche? No. I thought he might have.
Kakor once again, the combo coming out down here. Lifestealer inside, they're hunting. They want Crystal Maiden, but they don't know Sand King's nearby, I believe, but Crystal Maiden's going to force staff in and will TP out, so they're going to just TP back to the middle lane and look for another opportunity elsewhere. The sprint coming up in another second, but yeah, look at this Roshan here.
Slaughter needs Shadowblade, actually, so he can go for the picks. Ooh. He might be able to catch the Roche. That's why you need Smoke / Shadowblade to bypass the Naga illusions.
Yeah.
He thought about right-clicking that illusion. Yeah. Good luck.
Not gonna work. All right. Well, they are gonna lose Roshan in the end, but yeah, that definitely is a good point. I mean, you see, again, the Hand of Might is being queued up, but once he gets that, then maybe something like that Shadowblade will be an intriguing item to pick up, no doubt. But they do give the Aegis to Era. That makes sense over the Naga Siren, you think?
Juggernaut's going to be the one hitting the towers, so I agree with this. Usually you want to give it to the tower hitter. It is a little bit safer. Like, Invoker is really nice with the Aegis, but Lifestealer is usually the one hitting the tower, so he's in more danger. I think the one exception is Storm Spirit, just because he's just ridiculously good with the Aegis, and because he needs to retain his Bloodstone charges, but generally it's tower hitter.
So, next item choice for Juggernaut. He is going the Eye of Scotty. He's already kind of committed to that with the Ultimate Orb pickup, the Orb of Venom.
It's better for hitting high ground.
Okay.
Can reset a lot more. You can probably go like 2 or 3 hits or 2 or 3 waves on the tower without actually having a heal, and the healing word is incredibly good. Diffusal, not that great for not hitting heroes, and I don't think he's going to be hitting heroes anytime.
Well, yeah, I want to also go on the Diffusal real quickly too. With that, we're talking about the Omni Knight. How obviously you can't purge off Repel anymore, but Guardian Angel is still an effective tool to use against.
Maybe they just want to deal with it by sleeping during the GA.
True.
Which might not be that bad of an idea for them.
You know, I want to throw this out there. I have you on, really. Naga Siren, there's been a talk. I've heard the idea of an Ags on Naga Siren potentially being decent.
Not on this farm, but the Naga. You just go Butterfly Hard or Butterfly Diffusal and just
I guess if there were more team fights actually happening, yeah.
I think on support Naga, it's pretty good.
Okay.
Depending. Like if there's a Veno or something like that, it's pretty decent.
Oh, they catch a Poker down here. One of the few times a possible kill, but never mind. Trixie, he's going to be thrown in the air himself, so maybe going to be turned even. Crystal Maiden actually already falling back, and it's all on Trixie, but he gets away before the crush. I mean, it's ridiculous how little kills we have this game, and just even when we get so close like that, he once again escapes, man. Simply cannot catch.
Creating a lot of space.
That was Lifestealer inside the slaughter as well, so all that time essentially kind of wasted there yet again, keeping the farm slowing down for both the Invoker as well as the Lifestealer. And you look at Juggernaut, I mean, he was actually behind both those heroes for a bit in the earlier game, but obviously that's completely changed now. He's up to 14,000, and then you got Naga Siren, 23,000 net worth. Octarine Core, it's been finished, and hey, let's throw an Eagle Song on there as well, so. I mean, bottom lane, actually. They are going to be getting the catch on a Juggernaut. He will have the Aegis popped right here, so finally a kill coming out. Crystal Maiden nearby. Spin going to be used. And Era is going to reset and be fine for the time being, but still want to make a play. Omninet's kind of charging on the uphill. Burrow Strike hits 2 from Trixie. Now he's in the front lines, though. We'll pop that Sandstorm, but it gets Chaotic Offering in the background. Trying to catch a couple more, trying to chase them, but we're really split up right here. Trixie is going to get picked off, it looks like, when it's all said and done. A Burrow Strike once again in the last second. But he does end up falling. But now they definitely want to go back in. The Omni Slash bounce, and a whole lot of Warlock right there, making a 1-for-1 so far. And Omni Knight kind of run.
Is in shambles.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah, that tier 3 tower going down in the meantime. So That's what NIP had planned all along, right? They just wanted to distract you. They don't care what the outcome was in the end. And hey, they still come out on top in hero kills.
Scotty, very good versus the repel.
Anti-kite tool right there, as we see. And he is working on the defusal now, by the way. He does have that shift queued here. Oh, he gets a blink dagger, though, first. Likes the mobility. But yeah, Nagasiren with the split push. The tier 3 going down, so now the shrines are exposed. Can take out those objectives here. If you're NIP. I mean, look at these supports even, too. Crystal Maiden. You have the Yoles as well as the Forest Staff onto her.
Life is going to be hell for the Life Stealer. He's just not going to be able to hit anyone unless he gets a jump right here. This could be a big one, but Hani is hiding in the trees, and he's not going to be able to find anyone. I still wonder if Stoddard is going to commit for the Hand of Midas or go for a Shadow. I actually think right now Shadow Blade is much better just because he can't actually find anyone. There's always illusion scouting for him.
You got to figure with the way the skin's been going. Yeah, he really wants a jump here. He's going to go for that Crystal Maiden. Arrows nearby with a quick kill. It happened so fast, obviously, with that combo.
Yeah.
And couldn't even react.
Yoles is pretty good against some of the heroes, but sometimes people prefer Ghost Scepter just because sometimes it's a little bit more reliable at actually escaping if you're all in on physical. But or you just build armor to tank up, but that's not generally the best option because of Amp.
He's shut there with the illusions as well as a Burrow Strike basically drops to half life. It just again just shows you the power of really what the illusions bring to the table. Interesting thing with Evoker too, and we have actually been seeing this a little bit more. I feel like lately he actually goes to 30 XP talent over the +1 Forge Spirit.
Oh yeah, I was wondering why he was level 20. Jeez.
Yeah, really amping up there.
Yeah, once he gets level 25, that tornado coordinate is so good.
Yeah. You like that, so you actually like that as they get to pick up an Ogre match. Top lane, by the way, Omni Knight, he's also gone on, though. He does have Guardian Angel. There's the heal. He will throw the Repel up, and not even needed with the GA. He's going to be fine just with the Repel alone. Walks it off, so good job by him right there. And this Slaughter and Lifestealer is starting to come online a little bit. They've been getting a couple of kills here in these last couple of minutes, which is a lot for this game.
Yeah, they're getting there. Even Ogre is worth 363 gold for them, so that's pretty good. They're far behind, but at the same time, they do get a lot of gold from the kills. And Invoker is actually getting very farmed too. He has Octarine and Scepter. So once he gets level 25, he's going to have 9-second cooldown on his Tornado, and they're going to have a lot of problems sieging. They're going to have to siege with the Juggernaut spin pretty much.
So you're pretty much sold that that will be the pick up this game. I guess when you are counter pushing quite a bit, the Tornado makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. Personally, I think the Tornado is better than Deafening Blast.
Really? Okay.
95%, maybe even more than that. It's just ridiculously good. 9 seconds is crazy.
It is, yeah.
Because as Invoker, you actually have issues with your spells not being off. Your Invoke's cooldown is so low, but your spell cooldowns are actually really, really high, and you can't cycle through enough spells.
Okay, so you have like downtime, which is bad.
Yeah, you have downtime. Unless you want to cast something not terribly useful in the team fights.
Yeah.
Like EMP is pretty hard to hit, but with Tornado cooldown, you can combo it. You can combo Tornado Sunstrike. Next Tornado, you can combo Tornado Meteor Blast, and then you can combo Tornado EMP. So there's 3 things to combo with the Tornado, which is quite nice.
So Nagasiren, again, I'm not saying she's hitting the peak just yet, but you get into that point where you were suggesting earlier that she has
one more.
I guess one more item, yeah.
Yeah, and then she's gonna be peaked. It's usually Diffusal or Heart right now is what you see. Sometimes Scotty, depending on what you want to do. Scotty better versus anti-BKB and gives you a little bit more armor. Heart is better for sieging. Diffusal is better for fighting. They're not really fighting, so I would advocate against Diffusal. AC actually wouldn't be that bad just because of the nature of the lineup that they're up against. But I would say Heart or Scotty is my personal choice.
Options here, yeah, level 21. Level 25 for Nagasiren, actually. What is it? The +1 Mirror Image Illusion?
Yeah,
expect to see? Okay.
I personally like the 40 move speed.
That's a lot,
It's more fun, but
they're not here to have fun. They're here to win.
Yeah, if you're here to win, then the image is better.
Oh, there's another quick kill, actually, on a Sand King. So few kills, you figure out how to catch them all, but missing that one right there. Top lane, meanwhile, a big fight breaking out as well. Omni Knight pops the GA. Now standing in place for the time being, kind of locked in place more so by the Nagasiren right there, but now running in their face. I mean, he is tanky with his item build with the Guardian Greaves and the Hood of Defiance, but not tanky enough. Era finally comes through. We'll chop him down. So a 1-for-1, really, when you figure the Sand King being killed too.
He just needs to repel TP out. But I guess actually Nagasan can net through it, so
Yeah.
that was not reliable.
Even that is not a thing. So he tries to split push, but I mean that's also another thing, by the way. They only have one tower kill on alternate attack side at 34 minutes in. That's never a good sign either.
Nope. Qualifier looking at the game right now, though. He knows he's getting stick slotted. It's about that time. They can get next Aegis if they want to, but they can just hit the building right now. And they will be hitting a lot of buildings as the Naga spreads her illusions to only 2 lanes at the moment because the bottom T2 is still up.
Oh, Slaughter gets caught in the background. That's actually pretty big, too, because it prevents the initiation from them with Exotic Tier inside. Now he's forced to pop out. The healing ward put down. He's trying to run. You just look at how slow he is, though. He's like, get back to base, please. That's not going to happen. Chaotic Offering comes out. Down goes a life stealer, though. He does have a buyback. Slaughter already buyback. Warlock is picked off. He kind of did his job, though. It's not a big deal right there. But down goes Slaughter, and that's a dieback for him as well. In the background, Nisha being dove on. So talk about ending this game. They most certainly are going for that right here, right now. Life stealer does buy back, though, and is going to be joining back into this fight, so they need to be careful not to overcommit. Cinderin will fall out in the bottom lane, and nobody died on their side, so looks like the fight's successful, and they reset. And there's the top melee racks.
They can actually hit mid with this sleep, too. It's a very well-positioned sleep.
They're going to go in onto Nisha, actually. They catch him. Does he have a buyback? I believe he would right here if he dies, which is gets close, but he's not going to die in the end. The Repel helping to keep him alive. Good job by Omni Knight right there to do so. No Guardian Angel, though. Remember, he used it at the top lane before this fight was breaking out, so maybe that's the reason, really, that they chose to really go all out for this fight here. And, well, if that was, it's definitely the correct decision in the hindsight, most certainly. The range Rax goes down middle, and just like that, half of their base feels like it's gone.
Yep, made it pretty easy once Naga decided that it was time to fight. Can pick out one more item and just easily go in again with or without the Aegis if they'd like. The Life Stealer is just not farmed enough to actually kill the Naga illusions. Once he gets MKB perhaps, but that is still about 5,000 gold away for him. And Invoker is still not level 25 too. So they hit at a pretty good time, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the counter push again, strong with Evoker, especially with that Tornado cooldown. But yeah, he's only level 22, so not having that just yet. Definitely a good time with the GA being down as well. And overall, very successful for them. Now, Roshan, obviously ATN's like, they do not want to give this up. They do not want to deal with an Aegis push here to finish the game. But he's not going to be up just yet. However, they go to the middle lane by breaking out here. Trixie, he's going to get the Pearl Strike onto Omni Knight in the back, and now GA is ready this time. Tornado comes through. Quakefa in the back lines. He's going to be boxed out, though, by Lifestealer as the upheaval being channeled in the midst of everything. And another full-on reset, though, for NIP. But meanwhile, the Illusion's cutting the wave, so, hey, they'll take that on NIP. They're just fine if fights end like that was 0 for 0.
Invoker actually has small mana issues too. Usually you'll see Yules to alleviate this, but he's like pushing out the lanes, but he's like barely gonna have enough mana to do like a Tornado EMP and then like a Meteor Blast combo too. Heroes just falling like flies in the mid lane. Omni Knight next on the list.
Yeah, is that no buyback Omni Knight, I believe? Okay, he does have a buyback actually, but a double kill coming out for Era. Slaughter, however, is staying dead, and there is that buyback again. He has that Guardian Angel. This is potentially a last hold attempt here from alternate attacks against the NIP Siege. So Quakefa in the front lines. What did he end up buying, by the way?
Scotty.
He did get the full Scotty. That's right. Okay. Anyways, Exotic Tier going in. The sleep comes out, though. Locking down the teammate support in the background, and they just jump on a Lifestealer. There's no buyback on him. That should all but do it for NIP. Looking to take the first game of the day here for the European region. Warlock, he gets the Chaotic Offering off, but really, again, doesn't matter. Quakefa tearing down Invoker. He's staying dead. I think it's finally come to an end here.
Yeah, this is definitely over. Naga Siren Strat. Pretty well executed by NAP. I was actually rather impressed with their individual play. And
yeah.
I think Hani's early game movements and then Trixie, I think, create a lot of space for them in the late game. Also, they bumped up the Naga's efficiency a lot with the sleep. Or, sorry, with the Bloodlust. I like that play from Cinderin, too. Like, she got it a little bit earlier because of Arcane plus the Bloodlust.
Yeah.
Overall, attacks, they didn't really play that well versus Naga Siren. I feel like they didn't really, like, pressure her at all. They just, like, okay, we're going to accept our doom. Oh, crap. we maybe can take a late list by Midas's, and that's kind of all they did, I would say, to actually prepare for the Naga, which was a little sad.
I mean, you just look at that smooth graph right there.
Yeah.
As far as the net worth goes for NIP. That's just it's a good telling of how the game went. right there. So, yeah, very well played with the Nagasar, and I think Koikva's individual skill, as you were stressing before the game, too, definitely shine there in the Nisha matchup.
I'm pretty sure he, 10 minutes in, he's like, we won this game.
Yeah, no.
I have my Radiance. I'm going to have my Radiance in a couple of minutes. I destroyed this Invoker in mid, and yeah, to pick up that 1 point in Wex, please.
There you go. Anyways, NIP, again, the favorite there in that matchup, no doubt. But alternate attacks, yeah, that's got to be a rough start for them going up against the Nagasiren game. But it is just game one for all these teams here of what's 9 to come over these next couple of days. So still a lot of room to make up. But it's got to feel good for NIP, though, again, taking care of business, winning a match that they definitely should have here. So. Anyways, guys, stay tuned. We're going to be right back with our following match here after a short break, of course. Next one, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be Team Secret versus Pro Dota Gaming here, one of the open qualifier teams. But Pro Dota, don't count them out. I mean, they're definitely got potential in my mind. But yeah, Secret, definitely one of the favorites here of the European region, of course. Anyways, guys, stay tuned. We'll be back, though. More coverage coming at you on Brick CPK, joined by Berlin, the Kiev Major European Qualifiers.